Welcome back to News Across Nigeria. Now for more on our top stories and others, please visit our website, channelstv.com and youtube.com/channelsweb. Log on to m.channelstv.com to watch us on your mobile device or download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows devices from their respective stores. And having the Channels TV and Channels 24 app will give you access to news and updates. You'll also have access to the Eyewitness feature, with which you can share those pictures, videos or news of happenings around you. Go ahead, install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the menu and follow the instructions you find there. A legal practitioner, Mr. Wahab Shitu, is advocating what he terms constitutional restructuring as a solution to the widespread calls for restructuring of the country. Mr. Shitu told Channels Television in a phone interview that the calls are not out of place, but insists that views must be put into consideration for an effective outcome.
The need to restructure the country is inevitable. It has been the goal of the progressive forces all these years that we need to restructure this country. And in restructuring this country, what we say, what must be done? I think the starting point is to answer two basic questions. The first one is to say, do we want to live together? If we take that to say, yes, we want to live together, and there's no doubt about the fact that the majority of Nigerians want to live together. The next question that arises is on what terms? The agitations that Nigerians are making across the board is sending a very powerful message that Nigerians across the divide are disenchanted with the existing constitutional arrangement. And you can see that central to this restructuring process is the element of dialogue. And so by engaging all the vested interests in dialogue, Osibajo is doing wonderfully well for this country, but that is not enough. That can only provide a palliative, short-term measure. If we want to address the fundamental problem bedeviling this country, we need to restructure along the path of true fiscal federalism and along the path of devolution of powers that will ensure that every component, segment of this country has a sense of belonging and that they have control over their resources and then pay taxes to the center. Everybody is saying, oh, we are disenchanted with the process. So this presents us a unique opportunity for us to address some of these deep-seated grievances.
More stories now. The United Nations International Children's Fund, UNICEF, is partnering with the Bauchi state government to enroll more girls into schools and support their education through the Girls for Girls Initiative. 100 schools in 6 local government areas of Bauchi State are part of the UNICEF intervention. The aim is to improve girls' retention and learning through support and mentoring, and eventually help increase the number of girls in the classrooms.
The education of the girl child is a challenge in Nigeria. According to UNICEF, 60% of the 11.4 million out-of-school children in Nigeria are girls. This is particularly troubling in the north, where the gender gap is very wide, as the proportion of girls to boys in school is now 1 girl to every 2 boys, and in some states it worsens to 1 girl for every 3 boys.
I agree to support my fellow girls to remain in school.
At this event, girls are committing to remain in school as UNICEF partners the Bauchi state government to bridge the gender gap through the Girls for Girls Initiative, which seeks to enhance the Nigerian girls' rate of enrollment, retention, and school completion.
We hope that through this new project, more girls will contribute to stay in school and be inspired to further climb the ladder to brighter future. But a brighter future starts with quality basic education.
It is our hope that G4G will empower our girls to appreciate who they are and why they should remain in school and aspire for higher education by supporting them to overcome the barriers that hinder girls' education.
The statistics from UNICEF show that an average Nigerian girl leaves school at the age of 9, and only 1 in 10 girls in northern Nigeria completes secondary school. This is one challenge the state government is hoping to address.
I would like at this point to emphasize that the present administration in the state is willing and ever ready to support and ensure that the needed objective of the project is attained and achieved.
The federal government plans to raise the nation's net enrollment rate by enrolling 2,875,000 pupils annually for the next 4 years, while raising the enrollment of girls in basic education schools by 1.5 million pupils annually over the same period. This initiative is said to be one step toward meeting the target.
Now to some politics. Ahead of the Anambra State governorship election, admirers of Governor Willie Obiano have been calling for more support from the electorate in Anambra South and Anambra North senatorial districts. A team under the aegis of our allied support group for Willie Obiano says the governor is sure to win based on his performance in the last 4 years.
Members of the allied support group for Willie Obiano, a group canvassing support for the Anambra State governor ahead of the November 18th governorship election. Here at the Upor Town Hall in Nnewi, the group rallied support among representatives of Nnewi South, North, Ihiala and Ekwisigo local government areas in the Anambra South senatorial zone, advising aspirants vying for the governorship seat to suspend their ambitions for now.
All aspirants in this area, no matter the country where you are, don't invest this time. It will be a waste. So if you are hungry for government, suspend it this time. Don't listen to anybody from the north. Who is from the north? If you listen to any other person, if he comes in, he stays 8 years. He's postponing your own.
The message is not any different at the Umweri Civic Center in the Anambra North Senatorial District. Members talk about their impressions of the Obiano administration.
I know that the pensioners are paying well, teachers are paying well. There are many schools in this Anambra State, all of them are going to school. There's no problem in Obiano tenor.
In a government or in a community or in a state where there is not a good security, I don't think that governance is good. And where there is not an adequate facilities in agriculture or in education, I don't think that governance or that government is working. But since Obiano came into a government, he's doing well, most especially in terms of security aspect.
While the group rounds up this meeting, it leaves party supporters with an assurance that the All Progressives Grand Alliance will be victorious when polls open in November.
In the South-South, the government of Delta State has signed a $20 million memorandum of understanding with a private investment company to develop oil palm plantation and processing plant at the Akoko Igbo Oshimili North local government area of the state. The Secretary to the State Government, Mr. Festus Agast, and the Chief Executive Officer of Nurseworthy Investment Limited, Gabriel Obeche, signed the agreement for a 3,000-hectare oil palm plantation in Asaba, the state capital. The chairman of Nurseworthy Investment Limited says the company is ready to contribute its quota to developing the state by creating job opportunities.
Now that we've signed the MOU, we're going to move to site immediately. Within the next couple of weeks, we'll commence clearing. But as you know, plantation has a long gestation period. It's going to take between 2 to 3 years to begin to produce before we now go into the value chain of the oil mill, producing the groundnut oil, the vegetable oil, and the others. So in terms of jobs, we see this project employing at least 5,000 people, because you know agric is very capital intensive, apart from the people who we are going to employ in in the palm plantation directly and in the oil mill that is associated with it. There's also going to be the outgrower scheme, people who also develop their own palm plantation and be feeding the mill that we have. So it's going to be a very massive project.
When the program returns in a moment, officers and men of the Nigerian Air Force have been charged to put in their best in the fight against insecurity.